Hello everyone, very good afternoon. I can see some few have follow or joined us, but we're going to wait a couple of minutes and allow others to join in as well. So we'll start the webinar in a minute's time max. I think we have a lot of participants already joined. I'm sure others will be joining. In the meantime, we can start the webinar. Hello, everyone. I am Vinny Choksi. I'm a global marketing and operations head for Accely Group. We are very excited and invite you all to this webinar. Is my screen visible to all?
Yeah, it's come up here.
Okay. So I welcome everyone to this webinar, which is presented by Accely and Precisely. Uh, Today, we are going to discuss and understand how to optimize and automate your data intensive SAP processes for maximum efficiency. We have line of speakers to discuss about it with their experience. Obviously, I'm very excited to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Muralidharan Venkataraman, who, to give a small intro about him, he has 30 years of experience in transformational program and management across large and complex programs. MV, we call him MV. MV has an experience in working with multiple geographies with Accely, works with different industry vertical from manufacturing to retail, CPG, professional services. MV is a global delivery and pre-sales head for Accely Group. MV, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Vinny. Good afternoon. And I think the topic for today is on how do we optimize and automate the entire master data process, the SAP master data processes. What strategies can be adopted, and how is that actually as a partner of Precisely. We also have some speakers from Precisely who will also help us to walk us through some of the offerings that they have from their portfolio in terms of how automation can help here to simplify and enhance the operations. And also we have a speaker with us, somebody who's been using this, at their end. We have L'Oreal Middle East team on the call, who will also walk us through in terms of their experience having adopted this solution. How did it benefit them, and to what extent these were deployed successfully, not only for their Middle East operations. As you understand, L'Oreal has a global presence, so these have been deployed across multiple geographies within the L'Oreal family. So with that, I want to get started just to brief on Accely to begin with as an organization. So we have been in SAP consulting since 2021. And as we speak today, we have more than 20 plus global offices, including a strong footprint both in India as well as in Middle East. So I'll come to some of the geographies that we operate in. Our group turnover is in excess of $100 million. And given that we have been doing SAP consulting work for all these geographies, till date, we have delivered more than 450 plus SAP consulting engagements. Our overall group headcount is in excess of 1,800 plus. Plus, we have worked for some of the Fortune 500 companies as well. These are some of the other group companies that you will see here. Of relevance is Early AI and Rapid. I will not dwell much here, but of course, we'll talk about that in a little bit of detail in the next subsequent slides. These are some of the accolades that we have won in the journey that we have traveled this far. So you will see multiple awards that SAP has Accely has picked up, not just from SAP, but also from Deloitte in terms of being identified as a technology fast 500 company in the North Americas consistently for the last 2 years. Of course, we have also the other certifications that we carry in terms of our delivery capabilities. Yeah, next. Yeah, so I think this is a journey that I was talking about. So we started this in 2001 from India. So we are incorporated in India out of Mumbai. And beyond, if you look at the roadmap of the journey that we have covered this far, so we have now presence in almost 20 plus locations, across different countries. Until now, the recent ones that we have acquired is in UK. The early AI that I talked about in the previous slide. This is the world's first SAP AI consultant. So I'll also talk about how is that going to add value for you, assuming you have a SAP platform deployed in your landscape. And more importantly, the acquisition that we did on the Rapid, which was a US based company. So these two, I'll talk a bit of into some detail as we go along. But yes, if you see, this is a journey that we have walked on. This is your mission statement. We call it active. A for accountability, C for customer commitment, T for teamwork, I for integrity, V for value, and environment. So this is a commitment that is demonstrated by our consultant, by Accely consultants, as and when they get engaged, irrespective of the nature of work that we deliver for you. These are some of the products. Accely has been proud to get associated with Precisely, because we do see a lot of value. I'm sure there's a detailed walkthrough of the capabilities of each of these products, and I'm sure that is a focus of the discussion that we are going to have today. So there are three products that we are going to touch upon, all from the portfolio of Precisely, and some of these have been used by very many customers, not just in India but also across the geographies that we have. In fact, you will have a speaker, Bharat, who will talk about that at length in terms of his experience of having worked with these products, within the context of L'Oreal. Yeah, next. So yeah, I think this is a slide that I referred earlier. So we have Rapid as a platform that we have developed, and within the Rapid platform, we have developed multiple solutions, complementary, fully integrated with SAP. In fact, the vendor management solution that you see here has been listed on the SAP store as well. So if you go to the SAP store, you'll see some of these solutions that we have developed. These are our own proprietary solutions. We own the IP for that. And more important, these have been deployed on the BTP platform, fully integrated with your backend, S4HANA. So there are multiple solutions under the Rapid portfolio, as you see here. I'll not call out each of them. Of course, these are all available at any point of time towards the end of the call. We'll give you the point of contact if you are interested in getting more details on any of the solutions that you see here under the Rapid portfolio. Next, I move to Early, which is the AI. As I mentioned, this again is something that is unique within the SAP space that we operate in. This again is listed. The Early AI Brain solution has been, it's part of this acquisition that we did in UK just last year. Now it's part of the Accely group. And again, this is a early AI consultant, as you may say. So there are multiple use cases that you see here. It can be where it can be deployed within, ring fenced within your environment, the SAP environment that you operate in. So there are multiple use cases. Of course, I don't want to spend too much of time getting into the specifics of each. But as I said, yes, if you're interested in any of these, we can always, arrange a demo and walk you through the capabilities of each of these solutions here. Yeah, next. Of course, these are the other capabilities that we have as Accely. One is around RPA, the other around the enterprise content management solution, wherein we have partnered with multiple players, including OnBase, which is a prominent player when it comes to providing the enterprise content management solution. Within the SAP LOB solutions, beyond private cloud and public cloud, these are some of the capability. These are some of the LOB solutions where we have strong capabilities on, be it under analytics, be it under CX, whether it is Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, or even the Marketing Cloud, which is now known as the MRC solution, which SAP acquired recently. Most important, the success factor track. I think some of the use cases that you saw earlier is around this HCM space, and the enterprise sustainability management, given that there's a lot of talk around the enterprise sustainability management now. And of course, then the core, when it comes to the core S/4HANA solution, be it private cloud or public cloud, we do turnkey end-to-end implementation. We provide business consulting, process consulting, and the technology consulting that is required to deploy the solution within the landscape for your organization. Yeah. So that at a high level is what we do as an organization, and of course, given our global footprint, we are able to provide a seamless delivery, a mix of on-site, offshore, and nearshore, because we do carry pre-sales and delivery needs of the geographies that we operate in. I think there's a slide which talks about all the footprint that we have globally. From an industry vertical standpoint, these are some of the industry verticals that we focus on: manufacturing, retail, consumer products, pharma, chemicals, professional services, real estate, and engineering and construction. Of course, we what it means is we have delivered solutions for these industry verticals over the last 24 years. So we have built a lot of accelerators and templates for deployment of solutions. So basically, you get a jump start when it comes to the deployment of the solution within your context. So we are able to leverage all the experience that we have gained across all these industry verticals to the benefit of yours. These are some of the strategic alliance. Of course, the core remains SAP. We are a gold partner. We have multiple partnership with SAP, including PSOE and all of that. Precisely is our another partner. I think we have speakers from Precisely today as well to walk you through the capabilities of these products. We work closely with them to deploy these solutions as well, in the context of some of the clients, who have deployed SAP for them. And I think you already heard some of the other solutions that we have built capabilities around, be it on Highland or Adobe or Automation Anywhere, and the MRCS piece. Yeah. This is a global leadership team we have in Accely across multiple geographies that we operate in. Nilesh heads the operations as a CEO for the Accely Group, jointly with Chintan Shah, who's the CTO for the Accely Group. And you'll see me there as Muralidharan Venkataraman. I had the global delivery and pre-sales, for Accely, and the rest of the leadership team that you see here. I think Winnie, who is on the call, she heads our global marketing. These are some of the global success stories that we have drawn across multiple geographies that we have delivered solutions in. Many of them have been on consulting, and in most cases where we have delivered solutions in terms of implementation, we continue to provide support for them as well. So some of these customers have been there with us for the last 3 to 4 years, as part of providing ongoing support to them. This is a global footprint. I am based out of Mumbai here in India. Of course, we have a global footprint. We also have offices in we have registered entities in each of these countries that you see here, and a local pre-sales and delivery, operating out of this. That's how we are able to offer a hybrid delivery model, to provide a seamless, experience for you when we come to delivering any of your projects. So I think that's what I had to share on SAP, on Accely, and our capabilities, and what is that we can do. Of course, if there are any questions, I will take a minute for it. Else, we'll move to the next topic. Yeah, over to you, Winnie.
Thank you. Thank you so much, MD. Any questions anybody has, I request you to put it in Q&A or in the chat box. We'll try and take it up we'll make sure we reach out to every question, probably by end of webinar. I request the team, we have to make it little interactive. We have some questions, poll questions to ask just to know your landscape and understanding, so that it helps our further speakers to make the presentation more relevant to you. So I request the team to bring up the first poll question that we have to the screen. I'll read out the question for the audience, and I request all our participants today to participate here. What version of SAP ERP you have in your organization currently? So there are these versions that we've mentioned here: SAP ECC, S4HANA, migration. Are you in the process of migrating to S4HANA, or you are on the both platform at the moment? If you can help us with the answers here, I can see a lot of you have already answered. Interesting. So if you can give us answers that will help us to understand and make this webinar more interesting here. I can see, which is very interesting, Divya, for you to know that 86% of the audience today that we have are on SAP S4HANA. Okay. Perfect. I'm ending the poll here. Thank you so much for everyone who has participated here. Right. I'm just sharing quickly. 86% of the audience says that they are on SAP S4HANA. Right. Perfect. Divya, over to you. Very excited. Let me firstly please introduce Divya. Divya Kaiwar, based in UK at the moment. Divya has 16 years of experience in sales engineering, and currently she works as the tech lead and manager for Precisely. Divya, over to you.
Thank you so much, Winnie. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Divya Kaiwar. I'm a pre-sales engineer for Precisely. And what I'd like to do in the next 20 minutes or so is to take you through our automation portfolio of products. I'm mainly going to highlight the two core capabilities that we offer that you see on the screen. So we enable functional teams within the businesses in various organizations to automate their data and processes which connect to SAP. So we've got our Automate Studio capability, which uses an Excel as an interface to automate data objects for data entry into SAP. We also have Evolve, which is our process automation platform, which enables workflows and approval processes for your most important data objects that, again, integrate to SAP. I'm going to give you a glimpse of both of these. Again, happy to take any questions. Please feel free to drop them in the chat or the Q&A box as we go through. When we talk about data automation, this is really targeting the mass data management area. So we know that as SAP users, you do have to maintain large amounts of data, be it master or transactional data. And our product here enables users to work within Excel and very quickly, with the click of a button, exchange that data into SAP for creations or extractions as well. Now, when we talk about data entry into SAP, it's also important to capture all the different stages that data would go through. So most commonly, we hear that organizations have multiple teams or individuals who contribute to the data. That data also needs to be approved before you can create it or change it into SAP. And for that, we have process automation capabilities, which gives you the ability to wrap a fully automated workflow either around an Excel workbook, or we also have the ability to designing web forms, which users can use as an interface to put in the data and take it through that workflow and integrate it directly into SAP. So today, again, I will be showing you the capabilities of both. But to start with, a little bit about Automate Studio. This is a simple desktop application. It follows a complete no-code, low-code design approach. So it's mainly targeting users who already work within SAP and who understand the business requirements of an SAP transaction. It's typically used for mass creations of data. So you can use this for your day-to-day data management activities, business as usual activities, but you also can use the same product for data migrations, cleanups, test data, or training data creation. So anything where you need to create or maintain data in SAP, you could see this as a potential solution. We do offer a very deep SAP integration. And when I talk about that, we can actually connect to SAP in multiple different ways that you will see in the next stages. We also really have capabilities around validating the data. So it's all about getting the data right at the point of input before you enter that into SAP. So you could add both offline business rules at a field by field level. And also we provide an inbuilt online validation of that data against SAP's business rules to ensure that the data quality is maintained while we maintain that data in SAP. The application itself provides 5 different capabilities. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about each of these and then show you some of this in action. So we predominantly interact with transaction codes in SAP. So this is at the SAP GUI layer where you call in a transaction code, and with a very simple 3-step process, we can automate that transaction code, map it to an Excel, and run that data into SAP. We also have the ability of building queries for data extractions where we interact directly with the database tables in SAP. And this gives us the live extraction and access of that data onto different interfaces. Again, Excel is the commonly used one, but we can put it in multiple different interfaces as well. We also can connect to BAPIs and RFMs. So for those areas of SAP where the transaction code doesn't exist or is too dynamic to automate, we also can go in through the BAPI layer, and that gives us another level of automation. And it also is the fastest way of approaching any kind of automation with SAP, as you don't have any screen latencies here as in transaction codes. The latest add-ons that we've had with our products is to facilitate the automation of both Fiori applications as well as transaction codes that are accessible through HTML. So this is the GUI for HTML that you see within S4. And again, so with all of these different capabilities, we do see that it's a very deep SAP integration that we offer to connect to SAP data objects in multiple different ways that you would achieve. So let's take a quick look at Studio. Again, for today's demonstrations, what I would be doing is giving you an end user experience of our applications. We're very happy to connect with you and show you how these templates are built using those three-step processes as well. I've picked a very common example from our customer base. Again, this is creation of materials in SAP. I wish to create a handful of materials in my S4HANA system. This is accessing the standard SAP transaction code of MM01, where every column of the transaction is mapped to the different fields within the Excel file here. Every field within SAP is mapped to the different columns of the Excel file. And you'll see here that this is a pretty large Excel, and then we work across all the different views. I only have a handful of data fields here, but you can see that Excel is the limit. It's very common for our customers to have thousands to tens of thousands of data rows within an Excel file, which they would process. I opened up the add-in that you see here within Excel. So this is a classic Microsoft add-in. You could access this. It validates the user having a license. We also have a little drop-down list here, which gives me access to all the different solutions that have been designed within our product, which we call scripts. And you can have multiple scripts for multiple transactions. And you also have the ability of linking the different smaller scripts together to run as one. So you really can automate a very large scenario, like creating a material could include extensions, could include creation of source lists and purchase info records. You could have bombs, routings, recipes, and you really can include all those steps together. I'm going to run everything live, but before I run the linked script, I also want to do a quick validation. So this validate option here gives me the ability to log into SAP. So as you see here, the nature of our product is that we sit outside of SAP and we simply can point it to a server of our choice. We support single sign-on, and we also can connect to ECC or S4, and we are fully certified to work with all versions of S4 up to the latest version. So I'm going to make a connection to my SAP instance now. So I've just clicked OK. I'll just give it a few seconds to make that connection through, and I'll bring that up again. And you'll start seeing here that this is now attempting to process the records. And because I chose validation, it's doing a live validation against SAP's business rules set up for that transaction code here. And it comes back with the messages success, indicating that the data is correct. And the error is in line with the data, highlighting the error message coming back from SAP. We again have message transformations. You can make this a bit more user-friendly if you wish to, but for the sake of the presentation, I've kept it to the natural SAP messages that we have here. In this case, it made an error on the plant field, so I can go and correct it. I also have the ability to revalidate only that error record. So just think of this as a file with 10,000 records and 50 errors. You actually know which 50 have failed. You can recorrect those and rerun them again. I do have a clean sheet of data now, and I now can process the materials. But what I'd like to do is also carry out all the different extensions in one go with one click. So I'm going to choose the linked scenario here, which has 3 different steps linked together. And this time I'm going to just choose to run this. And now I should have the materials getting created in S4 and coming back with the results in line. I ran everything live here, but we also have an inbuilt scheduling capability. So the users can choose to schedule this run at a specific time and date of your choice, and it happens in an unattended mode. You'll also see here that it navigates itself from one sheet to another. So this is where my new materials have been generated, copied across, and it's now running the extensions. And finally, it will also carry out the extensions to the storage locations as well. This was an example of a master data object running in S4. but a similar looking template can also work for transactional data, for example. So if you want to create orders or journals, invoices, purchase orders, sales orders, rebates, contracts, all of that can be achieved as well. A quick peek into SAP, I've just got to very quickly just go and show you what's actually happening behind the scenes. So this is the material that we just created within our template. And again, you'll see that it has created it for all the different views. And if I go into the change or the creation log within SAP, it indicates who actually went in and created the data at what time. So it just indicates my user credentials that are used because I logged in using my user credentials, and it completely respected the kind of user authorization profile I have within SAP. The plant extensions are also done, and then you can take a look at the data. Now, this was data creation as an example, so brand new data that I'm creating. I'm going to very quickly show you another example here, which incorporates the query application as well. So again, a simple looking Excel template. I've just got some header information here. I've got a query script that has been embedded within the template. Again, we use the Studio application to build out all these scripts and put them in here. I'm going to make a connection. This time I'm connecting to a different SAP server. So I'm going to choose this script to run against that SAP with some selection criteria. Again, the nature of the query being that you're looking for data of a certain data set. So that's what we've got here. I click OK, and that does a live extraction of the data and prints the values on the different columns with the headers that we've got here. So you'll see the list of material numbers coming here, the rate here, the validity dates coming here. And again, literally based on what I've got mapped in my query template. There were about 3 to 4 different tables that were linked together, a combination of my pricing tables with the material tables, all put together to run this report. And this in itself can be an ad hoc operational report that you could run, and you could also schedule this to run on a weekly, fortnightly, monthly basis as you would please. What I'd like to do is just change some of these values. So I've got access to the data that's actually held in SAP. I now wish to perform a pricing change for the materials that I've got here. So I'll apply like a 5 or 6% change as of today. And again, if I scroll right, you'll see I've got 2 different columns which have calculated fields. And again, we support all that Excel brings to you. So you can run all the Excel features as well. So it's calculated the new price and the new date. And I can now simply point it to a transactional script to say, I've got my old data, I've made my changes on Excel, which is a flat 5% increase, and I now want to update this value back into SAP. So this complete action that we're performing is what we refer to as a round trip, where I started off by extracting the data, and then I made the changes and held it as a staging area on Excel, and I'm now reloading those changes back into SAP. I'm going to stop this run. We have over 1,000 records here, but this can carry on and do that run. We have the results coming back here in line. Again, I can capture internal messages as well if I wish to, but that's my final message saying that the condition records were saved. I also took an extra backup copy of the old data in SAP before I made the changes. And this is again a feature that we offer, which allows users to hold on to what the old values were and keep it as an archive before making that change. So again, a couple of quick examples here. I'm not going to run another example, but I've already executed this script. This is a classic journal entry. So this is for finance users out there. If you're using finance for journals and general ledger data as a monthly transactional activity within finance, you can map out templates. And it can either be mass like that, where you have multiple journals being processed from a single sheet, or a single journal that can be run. We also provide splitting of journals and offsetting values against different journal entries, all of those as a part of the template itself. So it's worth exploring again for transactional data as well. So that was a quick peek into our Studio capability. I'm going to take a few more minutes to give you an idea about what our Evolve platform comprises of. So Studio is very integral to Evolve. So the SAP integration that we've briefly seen is coming through from Studio, but Evolve extends those capabilities to have an end-to-end workflow and a fully automated process. This again remains a no-code, low-code application, so we're not really writing lines of code to achieve that end-to-end automation. And because we also offer the ability of designing web forms, we have business rules and data stewardship that you could add at a form field level within your templates as well. Now, simply put, our workflow is completely graphical and a visual capability that we offer. So you've got swim lanes that we have here, which represent different individuals who would take part in a workflow or a business process. You can drag and drop different elements onto this blank canvas and connect the transitions together to make that workflow work. And I usually say that if you've used a Visio or a flowchart tool, it's pretty much designing a flowchart here, but this actually does work. The workflow, again, does not require any programming skills. And because we sit outside of SAP, you actually can include stages in a business process that have both SAP as well as non-SAP related tasks as well. The web form that you could design is completely your right. You could drag and drop different fields onto a blank canvas, and you could add style sheets and make it look and feel the way you would want it for your organization. And once you have these fields, you could add business rules, which could be simple ones like drop downs or mandatory fields or read-only fields, but it could also be more sophisticated to determine auto-populated values and having an intelligent way to help the user to complete a form quickly and easily. One of the takeaways here is that Excel is great for mass management of data, but if you're creating brand new data in SAP, typically where it spans across different teams of departments, you might want to have persona-based views, which forms gives you a very easy way to have. So you could have different views of the form for the different participants. And again, the USP here is that at every stage within the workflow, we can have that SAP integration to pre-validate the data, check for the correctness, do duplicate checks of records, do lookups of data straight from SAP, and all of that is inbuilt within the application. So with that, I'd like to give you a very quick glimpse of our Evolve platform. Now, we're just going to be scratching the surface, so we'll be very happy for you to contact us where we can give you a deep dive into the platform and what we offer. But what we see here on the screen is a portal that we have designed using Evolve. So we also give you the ability to create such landing pages or portals that users can interact with. And again, each of these tiles are different business processes. So I'm going to click on the new business partner creation. Again, a large number of you are already on SAP S/4HANA. So in order to create your customers or suppliers in S4, you would create them as a business partner. So this process is where I'd like to show you how we generate a business partner as a generic BP and then add a customer or a supplier role to it. Now, this is the form that we've designed using Evolve. Everything about this can be changed. A few little attributes. We can attach language packs. So if it is a global business process and you want to cater to different languages, you could add those translations, and then the form automatically gives you the ability to do that. We've captured some predetermined data. For example, we always generate something like a unique request ID, so you know that you can track that business process end to end at any given point. We also capture who's taking part in that process, whether as a requester or as a participant, as an approver. So you have that visibility along with the date and timestamp all along. I'm going to start filling up the data here. So I will I just put that in as my data here. I can start putting in input data. Okay, I think my browser cookies need to be deleted because the map would otherwise render itself to the address that we've got here. I am going to also just start filling in all these different values. You again can see that I've got mandatory fields. We also can have intelligent drop downs. So for example, here, because I've chosen a German address, it gives me a list of German banks here, but if I choose a different country key, that will be a tailored list as well. So I can complete filling up the data here. We also can validate this data against SAP. This is the same validation that I showed on Excel that we can call as a web service from within this web form. That also gives us the results. We can attach supporting documentation. So you've got the ability to say, okay, I now need to attach documents which are supporting documentation like PDFs, and you could make them mandatory. You could force users to also open this up. Free text can be entered. I'm also just going to select myself here as all these different participants for the business process as I go through, but in a real life scenario, you wouldn't have to do that. We automatically determine participants based on a rule manager that you might have to say, okay, based on a supplier request, this is going to go to this individual or a team of people to take part in the business process. What I now have here, again, is a task list. So again, I can stay within the portal here, or I also have the ability of just going into into my task manager, where I have a list of all the tasks that are open for me. Every task has an SLA as well, so it indicates clearly whether I'm within the SLA or not. I'm going to do a couple more steps in this business process that we're looking at. So I'll see here that the form has now opened up in a read-only format. I'm now the approver of the data, so I get to see this data here. Most importantly, for master data objects, you also have that ability to check for duplicates, because you don't want to be creating the same data again and again in SAP. So this is a query that is going into SAP, taking in all this data, including the bank data, to check if there is a record already there. We also provide API framework layer within Evolve, which allows you to interact with other systems of record. So again, if you wish to do an address checking system or a VAT or a PAN check, tax code check, we can do all of that. I'm going to hit approve and show a positive flow, but again, a rejection means it'll go back to the individual, requesting them to correct the data and provide more info. The final step I'm showing here is that of a master data team member. Again, I'm doing all the steps, but in real life, this will be different individuals. So I just give them a quick button here. We also have a glimpse of the workflow that they're taking part in. And that button is going to call the business partner transaction code or a BAPI within that SAP system. And it'll create the business partner, and you've got the results coming back in line with the data. There are decision nodes that you could add in the workflow. You could add approval loops. You could have customized notifications. We support escalations, out of office delegations. So it's a very mature workflow that you're looking at behind the scenes that's running here. This is just going to branch out into a supplier role. So because I created a generic business partner first with that generic role, and now I'm adding a supplier role. And this means that it's just gone to the AP team to complete the data. And again, you could have all these drop downs and business rules. You could add lookups to complete the data. And then I can say, I want to extend this business partner to having the supplier role that we now want. And that is completing that step and working our way through it. Very quick glimpse into what's actually, oh, sorry about that, into what actually happens behind the scenes. I'm going to just take a minute to show you what the solution looks like. So the solution has three parts, all the SAP integration components. So where you're interacting with the actual transaction codes in SAP. And again, if you look at it, this shows up all the different fields that we're touching within the given transaction code in SAP. We then have the actual workflow here, which I mentioned as a drag and drop approach. So you could just drag and drop different elements onto the canvas and connect them together. You could have various swim lanes determining who those participants are. And then finally, you have the actual web form user interface showing you what the form would look like and what different participants get to see when they take part in this business process. Again, very quick glimpse of a single solution. It's a horizontal application. You can use both Studio and Evolve across your SAP landscape, whether it's master data, finance, sales and distribution. It doesn't matter what module you're running, you could use it anywhere. So just a quick takeaway. So the products allow you to speed up your data maintenance, both in terms of like that quick data creation, but also that process automation. We hold the metadata of the processes all along, so you can have that visibility of that business process as you run it through. It's a complete agile process. You could start small, you could go modular, and then build on it. Also with process automation, we have the ability where you could scale it up without adding additional headcount just to do the mundane tasks. And all along, we try to maintain that data quality and be compliant for your audit trails and so on. So that's really what I wanted to cover in our session here today. Again, happy to engage with you and go deep dive. Over to you again, Vinny.
Thank you. Thank you, Divya. Thank you. That was very informative, extremely helpful, very crisp. Thank you so much. Moving on to the most interesting bit. Before that, before I have a last poll, second poll question for the audience here. Team, can we have the second poll question? I think after Divya's presentation, it was more relevant for everyone to answer it. Can we have the second poll question, please? Perfect. I'll just read out the question here. Which data integrity benefit would you prioritize through automation? Will it be reducing errors, increasing efficiency, ensuring compliance, enhancing decision making? I request the participants to please answer the poll question here. Okay, this is very interesting. We have the maximum people are answering increasing efficiency, but reducing errors and ensuring compliance is also something that they are looking forward to. Thank you everyone who participated to the poll. Moving on to the very exciting bit to the webinar. I'm very excited to introduce Mr. Bharat Kotecha. Works as Senior Manager Application for L'Oreal globally. Over 10 years of experience in information technology, security, and business solutions professional with exposure to diverse technologies, and have worked with global businesses in different industries, including IT, FMCG, as well as luxury brands. Bharat, we really welcome you and thank you so much for joining today, and looking forward to your experience using Precisely Automate and learning a lot out of it. Over to you, Bharat.
Thank you, Vinny. I will share my screen now.
Yeah.
Let me know if it is visible.
Yes, it's up for us. Yes.
Okay, so just to tell something about myself first, and hello everyone. Good afternoon from Dubai, if there are international people over here. It's a pleasure to be here with you all today. My name is Bharat Kotecha, and I've been based in Dubai for around 14 years now. Before joining L'Oreal, I worked at different companies for IT, infra, and services management role. Last 9 years, I'm with L'Oreal working as an IT solutions analyst for Middle East offices. My role today is managing applications landscape across Middle East countries with a focus on finance and operations, process automation, and analytics. On a personal note, professional interest, I'm passionate about the evolving world of technology, particularly in areas like cybersecurity, analytics and automation, and even service management included. To tell you something about L'Oreal as a company, so L'Oreal Middle East is one of the entities of the group, which is based in France. Many of you might know that L'Oreal is the world leader in cosmetics industry, and currently it is present in around 140 plus countries. In terms of brand, there is 40 plus iconic brands which is addressing consumers' beauty needs across multiple categories, such as skincare, hair care, makeup, fragrance, and even dermatology products. So we are distributed across like 4 different divisions, as you can see marked in the black line. So we operate in various business models ranging from B2B, D2C, and direct to retail as well. And today, I'm here to share with you a short summary of SAP Process Automation, where we are using Precisely product, mainly Studio. So our main process we targeted is to automate. This is a very critical one, by the way, for us. So like to automate order to cash process, which involves many activities, again, which is very critical, from order management, given the situation that which is very high in volume, given the nature of our business, FMCG style and distribution model, credit management for our customers, order fulfillment, shipment of the goods, and even invoicing and billing. So our key objective was to implement automation to bring speed and accuracy to manage high volume of data and time-sensitive business processes through the use of some smart tool which can pre-validate data before posting to SAP, and hence maintaining accuracy for later use case across various reporting altogether. To add also to gain efficiencies and easily to integrate in our ecosystem adapted by our end users as well. So we used Precisely Studio. We are using this product for our decade, began from 2 products, mainly runner and transaction. Currently, we have migrated Studio platform for multiple processes where solution is created and used on a regular basis by our business. As you can see, I'm listing around, let's say, 20 to 30 processes on the right side, giving some distribution across different SAP modules, which is MM and SD modules, which is very standard. So it ranges data automation task to maintain, such as customer master data, material master for thousands of SKU which we are selling, be it recording a sales order information, shipment data, billing information, and even returns management. The tool is instrumental for our automation journey to gain productivity in terms of speed, accuracy of data, and reliability. Personally, even before I came across these terms in automation world such as RPA, low code, no code, I was introduced to Precisely products. The tool for sure is easily adapted by users and can be integrated to SAP ecosystem with nearly no overhead of maintaining it. From my personal experience, I can say, coming from the infra and services background, not at all a developer. So developing scripts from the Studio tool with no knowledge of coding or even expertise, nearly nowhere. So which helped us a lot to create certain automations without dependency on SAP expertise and expert IT teams. The tool is, of course, Excel friendly, tightly integrated, I would say. And it also offers the security features like SSO, which completes our total integration in terms of cybersecurity landscape in the current era. Last but not least, Precisely also maintains a rich knowledge base for solution reference and support. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the organizers to invite me for this webinar to share our experience and also to attendees.
Thank you so much, Bharat. Thank you. This is very interesting. Okay, we are open to question and answers here. So anybody have any questions, I request you to please put it in the chat box, and our experts and panel and speakers would definitely answer that. I think we already have one question. Maybe Divya, can you take this up? If you can read is customization available for Automate and Evolve?
Yeah, so the question is customization available for Automate and Evolve? So when we talk about customization, I'm thinking about it in 2 ways. So the products are what we offer. We don't pre-package any solutions as such. So you're actually building these solutions for your SAP system in your organization, the way you've set it up. So yes, if you have specific processes that you've designed in a particular way, we can automate it for that. So yeah, completely sort of customizable for your requirements is what I can.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Divya. In case any questions, please put it in the chat box. But it was lovely having all of you. Thank you, MV. Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Bharat. Thank you for the amazing session. It was great learning. And I will put everyone's email ID in the chat box in case any questions, even after the webinar, if you realize, feel free to drop a text to us. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I think we are good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a great day. Bye. Take care.